Hello and Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the Gold Rush Mastermind. And I am your host, Tony Taylor. For those of you who don't know me, well, I am a longtime golf professional. I was a high performance coach for over 30 years in the golf industry, and a lot of people are very shocked by that. So I've been in the golf industry actually for over 45 years. I was a player first, and then I went into coaching, and my so-called specialty was high performance mindset work. And so I really believe that golf truly mirrors life. And so I'm very passionate about helping people get what they want. And it's so cool that we all want something different, because thank heavens we do, or else it would just be a feeding frenzy. So I just love being part. I also have a very much an entrepreneurial spirit. So my husband and I have been entrepreneurs our whole lives, and we're always fascinated by new things. And we've always had that kind of mindset where, there's a solution for everything. But I'm also really passionate about health and wellness. And of course, being an entrepreneur, I also know that we can get really stuck in thinking one way when it comes to wealth strategies. And one of the things that came across that was introduced to me this year from a girlfriend was the opportunity to start to be able to have access to gold and silver. And of course, my mom has been telling me for years, my grandmother told me, but of course, once again, as I'm sure many of you are familiar, we get introduced to things, but we don't always listen because, as they say, until you're ready, you just won't do it. So I guess I was really ready. And boy, when I was ready to listen, I have jumped in with both feet. And I'm so glad that I did, because it truly is empowering. We really don't know what we don't know. And I'll be perfectly honest, as you get to know me, and some of you do know me, so thank you everybody for joining me today. I've got some wonderful friends here today and some new faces today. So welcome, and somebody must really love you who invited you, that you are so blessed. Welcome, John, a new face. Thank you for coming. And it's just so great to have so many people who are ready to take that next adventure into a world that, quite honestly, we've been duped. It's really interesting how we have never been educated to truly understand the power of gold and silver. And as you begin to dive deep into this particular area, you begin to realize that why is it that only the rich do it? Why is it that governments and banks, they all seem to collect gold and silver, and yet nobody has explained it to us, right? So this company is what it was founded on. It was founded on the premise that they want to be able to make it easy to access gold and silver for the average person. So it's not just for the wealthy or the privileged or whatever you want to call them. So that it makes it easy for everybody to have access, which is so, so important. And I don't know, how many of you actually know who Robert Kiyosaki is? How many of you know who Robert Kiyosaki is? Yeah, okay. So he's been a huge, huge advocate of gold and silver. And the millennials now are really listening to him. How many of you have been collecting gold and silver already? I just started. I'm a newbie, so I just started. And how many of you have been collected any of it at this point? I've got a little bit now, since this company has given me access to it, which is really cool. So I want you to just kind of, as we go along on this journey, I want you to think about, how this can impact your life and where you're going with it. Over the past few sessions that we've had, because we just started these sessions, these mastermind sessions here, and we've talked about a defense strategy, the options for defense strategy. We've talked about offense strategy. People don't really think about gold and silver in that kind of way, but there's so many different options in the gold and silver arena. And it all has to do with understanding what type of an investor you are. So that's where I've really come to be empowered, is that when my girlfriend first introduced it to me, it's like, just get to the gold and silver. I just want to get to the gold and silver. They said, Tony, you need to slow down. It's so much more than just holding the coins. Okay. There's a lot more to it. And that's the other thing that's so wonderful about the 7K Metals company, is that it allows you to have access, okay, to fractional buying. This is unheard of in the gold industry, okay? Usually it's been the privilege of the rich, and you have to have a certain X amount of dollars, okay, to be able to get anywhere near being able to buy even just a little bit of gold and silver. So this is for me, which was so incredible when I got introduced to this company. It wasn't just being able to access, you know, your bars and your bullions like you can just do it down at the corner store or, you know, online. If you only had $1, you can buy silver and gold. What they're trying to do at 7K Metals is they're trying to get people to be disciplined, exactly what Robert Kiyosaki talks about disciplining yourself to save, but instead of fiat currency. Does everybody know what fiat means? Has anybody heard the word? Well, everybody know what fiat is? Okay. Fiat is what this is. Okay. It could be the yuan, the peso, the dollar, the euro. And in Latin, guess what it means in Latin? A currency by force. Isn't that interesting? They force us in this direction because this can be manipulated and controlled. Okay, so it's been very clever if you really think about it. It's been very clever. So this is why Kiyosaki keeps saying, if you're going to save money, save it in silver and gold, because this never goes down in value. Never. This, as you all know, goes down in value. Why does it go down in value? Because they print it like monopoly money. So your buying power is toast. So we had a discussion about that, about, as you all know, because I know that you're all adults and you're all very educated, about inflation. Okay, so if you go back in the history, you will see that the buying power of the dollar now is about a nickel. I personally believe it's probably around 2 cents now, is just my humble opinion. Okay, so basically it's like monopoly money at this point. So what you could buy a few years ago, you would need a lot more of this to buy it. But if you had this, you'd need less of it. So when people say to me, oh, I don't want to invest in that, it doesn't hold its value. It's the only thing that has held its value. All right. So we have what I want to get you to understand is that it's just now computing in my brain too. So just so you know, this has been an incredible journey where this company has a wonderful education in there. It's called the buyer certification. It's 1 hour long, and it absolutely changed everything in my understanding of why I would want to collect gold and silver, but not just in bullion or coins, but in other ways. Okay. So this is when we talk about defense and offense, the things that you would purchase depending on the category that you are in. All right. Does that make sense to everybody? Cool. All right. Does anybody have any questions up to this point? Because I'd like to open it up specifically to anybody that might have a question. Dr. Kim, please.
Hey, good morning, good evening, good day, everyone.
Good evening.
Tony, are you saying the gold and silver don't fluctuate?
They don't fluctuate the same way as the fiat currency does. And they too have been really suppressed as far as value is concerned. So the gold is considered a precious metal. Not that this isn't a precious metal, but silver is extremely suppressed because it's also used in industry as well. So when we start to have economic collapses, they say, all right, or massive inflation, this now becomes a precious metal as well. And it's just really based, honestly, Dr. Kim, on the buying power. So like if you bought in this in 1965, so I'll give you a good scenario, because that's a great question, by the way. In 1965, this was worth $1. Okay, you could buy 1 ounce silver for $1. All right, so if you had 2,500 of these and 2,500 of these, okay, you could buy yourself a 1965 Mustang in 1965. Okay, this $2,500 and this 25 ounces of silver, in today's world, you would buy 2 Mustangs with this and a set of tires with this. Does that make sense?
I get it. Yes, yes, thank you.
Right? So that's why Robert Kiyosaki keeps saying, if you're going to be disciplined, discipline yourself, not in the forced fake currency, discipline yourself into God's money. God's money never goes down in the buying power, the value. Also, if you bury it, it never disappears. You bury this, this disappears. Oh, and it could probably disappear in a bank too, just FYI. So that's the whole thing. It's like really starting to understand, how powerful this really is. But you see, we've become a society of instant gratification. How many agree with that? We want instant gratification, right? Well, I can tell you something that I've learned about gold and silver. When you open it, when you get your package in the mail, when they mail this to you, let me tell you, there's some instant gratification there. It feels so good. It really, really feels good to hold on. And most people have never felt real money. This is money. This is what they call sound money. It's just a fancy name for gold and silver. This is fake. This is why people are stressed, overwhelmed, okay, anxiety-ridden, fear-based, because they can't make enough of this. That's the problem. And here's something else that I learned. We had a guest here a little while ago who's also part of the company, an amazing human being. He's a traditional businessman. His name is Curtis Havilland. He's in the 7K Metals company. You'll get to know him as you come on board with your membership if you're interested in. He told us a story about his grandpa and how the banks took away his land. And this got him thinking. And then he also learned when he was starting up his company that the bank, when he was looking for a line of credit, the bank made him bankroll all of his assets against a $250,000 line of credit. They wanted $5 million in assets for $250,000. Isn't that interesting? He said if he had $250,000 worth of these, that's all the bank would need. 1-to-1. Isn't that interesting? They don't tell you that, do they? Nope. Okay. Here's another thing that people don't know. That even if you think, and I love this, Miriam, this will be very powerful for you because our beautiful Miriam here is in real estate. A lot of people don't know that. Know that this is all debt. If you pay all your debt, including real estate, FYI, with this, governments can still take it from you. Does anybody know that? Is anybody aware of that?
No.
Okay. We have been duped beyond belief. The reserve is a racketeering business to protect the banks. Okay. The system is based on forced currency. this. The rich use this to build more assets to get this. Okay? Along with real estate paid with this, because nobody can take it. It's written, very deeply written, but any debt that is paid in gold and silver is owned by you outright, and nobody has the power to take it away from you. If you paid your debt with this, there's still a loophole for them to take it. How about that? Isn't that crazy? How many people knew about that?
No, I didn't.
Right? This is what I'm saying, is that this is where the power of just learning just a little bit more and to be open is so incredibly powerful. But it's been so difficult because everybody thinks you have to be rich to get your hands on this. No more. No more. This company is giving you the buying power to start tapping into exactly what the rich have had access to. And that's why I'm so excited to share it with you. Okay. So for everybody who is on this call, I'm so excited that somebody truly does care about you and is blessing you with this opportunity. It is an amazing company. And by linking arms and linking hearts, we are going to empower each other and empower others that we truly love. So I want to just open up the floor if anybody else has any other questions that they may have, and then I'll move on. Does anybody have any other questions?
I have a comment, Tony, about, because people are, including myself, why we don't hear about silver and gold, why we don't know that it's the good way to invest and to hold our assets in. Because, you know, even recently I've watched the Spanish show on Netflix about, I think it's called Haystack, when people are stealing gold from the bank. And of course, all the banks, they have a lot of gold. And why they are not advertising it? Just think a little bit. Why it's not going humongously in value up like Bitcoin? Because they suppress it to be quiet. They suppress it so we don't get it, we don't give it an attention. They put the assets into it, and they feed us the fiat money.
Yeah.
Right. And again, you know, during the big collapses, financial, you know, government flipping people over, or the worse, who's surviving with financial? What the Jews did when they were running away from their homes, they put on them the gold, the diamonds, and what else?
Yes, that's exactly right. Again, think about what fiat means. A forced currency. Okay, that's why Robert Kiyosaki wrote the book Fake. Okay, he's really trying to get people to understand. Again, that doesn't mean you're not going to be working for some income and this is how they're paying you. What 7K is trying to get you to understand is you now have access that if you are going to start disciplining yourself to save, start disciplining yourself to save in gold and silver. Exactly what Robert Kiyosaki is talking about. Put away a little bit, just a little bit every month. Instead of in this, do it in this. And now with 7K Metals, we have what we call a sound money wallet. This blew my mind. The sound money wallet inside 7K Metals, okay, is for fractional buying. But here's something that'll really blow your mind. The fractional means that even if all you had was $1, okay, they can't send you a 1 ounce coin because you've only put $1 into the value of that coin. But once you put $1, once you purchase $1 of silver, they have to take this coin and put it aside and with your name on it. And as soon as you keep saving another $1, or $10 or whatever, you will have yourself a whole ounce. And if you want that ounce shipped to you, it'll come right to your door, right to your front door. They only sell what they hold. A lot of other companies you'll find out there, they may be selling what they They may be selling you something, but they may not be shipping it to you because they haven't even got it. They got to go find it. And it's not always easy to find because everybody's looking for gold and silver right now. Okay. So the fractional buying with the sound money wallet is the most powerful. But here's the other thing that's most powerful about it. There's no maximums either. So there's a lot of the people that are in the know about gold and silver. They love the sound money wallet because they're moving their money away from the bank, putting it in the sound money wallet and buying gold and silver at direct dealer prices. And they have a safe place to have it because the company allows you up to $25,000 for free. And I think the charge after 25,000 in the vault is like 5% for the year, like it's nothing. So for a lot of the people who are in the know, they are doing like a serious happy dance. But I'm doing the happy dance because the sound money wallet is allowing us to even just put $10 towards our discipline towards real money, God's money, sound money. So, Jolene, please.
Hey, sorry. Hopefully I don't cough here. Just getting over a cold. To go back a little bit on the inflation, etc. I don't know if anybody remembers what happened to Zimbabwe a few years ago. So Zimbabwe's inflation went out over the roof, and they were, at that time, they had been par with the US dollar. And then governments started to do the printing and et cetera, et cetera. So there had been stories later where people would have to have buckets and wheelbarrows full of dollars just so that they can get a piece of bread, buy bread. So I heard stories, now I can't corroborate whether it's true or not, but I did hear stories that many of these people started to dig in their own backyards to see if they can find gold in their backyard so that they can go and actually buy food. Now, I don't know for sure if that's the true story, but I did hear stories about that.
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, we all know, for all of us that have been around and have learned a little bit about history, economic collapse does happen from bad government decisions. Okay, we've seen it. And Jolene, that's a perfect example. But another perfect example is Venezuela. Most recently, Venezuela. People show up with garbage bag fulls of money, and it's not even worth wallpaper anymore. And the only ones who survived to get out were the ones who held gold and silver. Okay. It's not any different than from my ancestors in Europe. The only ones who survived were the ones who had precious metals. It's just that simple. So again, we've talked about that because it's a hedge against bad economic, against economic collapse and bad government decisions. But I want you to understand the power of the offense, which we've also discussed. This is extremely important. But the average person thinks they have to be rich to get into this. And we discussed it last week. The 5 assets that the rich collect, 3 of them are in precious metals out of the 5. What is it that we're missing? Right? Okay. This is our chance to start disciplining ourselves and empowering ourselves into sound money. And we can easily do it with the sound money wallet that 7K provides for us. And you can fund it with crypto too, by the way. For those of you who are in digital assets, it can also be funded with your crypto as well, your crypto profits, if you've been trading in and out during this bull run. But here's the other thing people always ask. How many of you are saying, well, that's great, Tony, but I still need a piece of bread. What am I going to do with this? Right? You would be amazed at how many people would take this. We've actually done a test run. If you go to like an actual store owner, I'm not talking about corporate, you know what I'm talking about, the box stores. I'm talking about the mom and pop shops, okay? The people who are just like you and I, the average person, just doing our best that we can from our heart and being in service, trust me, they will take this. Okay. I've been bartering my whole life. My husband and I barter our whole lives. And I'm sure all of you have stories about that as well. Okay. People do understand that this is real and this is not. Okay. So oh, great. Angie, how are you? Lovely to see you.
Hello. I just wanted to jump in there and the Krugerrand. I mean, everybody that knows coins knows the Krugerrand.
I have one.
And it is exactly, and it is worldwide a legitimate payment, accepted payment method. So with a Krugerrand, you can go anywhere in any bank. Shops, obviously, theoretically, yes, you know, it is a gold coin, and if you've got a quarter or whatever, so it is still today a legitimate currency, and you can pay it everywhere, provided you can get it from one country into the other, you know, but that's besides the point. So I would love to know how 7K actually ships overseas and in other countries, how they ship the gold and the silver. Because I know that there's always, the governments try to make it as challenging as possible. So I'm very keen on that one. So thanks.
Oh, thank you for sharing and letting us know that this is actually still happening, that you can use your coins, right? I mean, we're so stuck in our bubble thinking that this is the way that it is right here in North America, right? But in other parts of the world, there's bartering systems going all the time. And thank you for sharing that. That's very powerful. Great question about how do they deliver? Okay, so we use FedEx. FedEx is their choice of shipment. There's only two things that the company is looking for when opening up new countries. We have 7 countries currently open. The nice thing about gold and silver is that it's a little bit easier to work around the governments because really there's only 2 things that they're concerned about when it comes to opening new countries. The taxes, so there's not too much tax as far as, you know, dealing for the people in the country. And number 2, security. So as you all know, there are some countries that absolutely love their gold and silver. They understand the value of gold and silver, but we can't deliver it to their countries because it's not secure enough for delivery. Okay. So in 7K, the current countries that are open are the United States, of course, United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Ireland, and Singapore, right? That doesn't mean that they're not opening new countries. They just need to vet the security for the countries. Hyacinths in the UK, I've been getting my collectibles. I get them within 48 hours after ordering, but we're in a little bit of a lull. I'm telling you this because they just had a big buying frenzy. They've decided to clean out the vault with all the extra collectibles in there. And well, it's been quite a buying frenzy. So delivery is taking just a little bit longer because they do everything by hand, because remember, they only sell you what they have. They don't pretend they have something. They only sell you what they have. Okay, so delivery time has been exceptional. So I'm going to just follow up with this. We also have people who live in countries. The reason is not that you can't become a member and buy fractional silver through the Sound Money wallet and hold it in the vault. But I always recommend that you hold something tangible. You have some of this delivered into your hands. Okay. They just have to know that the country you're in is safe. And right now, those are the 7 countries that they know that they can deliver, matter of factly, 100% to your door safely and securely. If you happen to be in a country that we don't deliver in, but you know somebody who is in another country that is open and you trust them, then you could use their address. Because I have a friend who lives in a country and his mom lives in New Zealand. So he's using his mom's address to have his gold and silver delivered. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So If you are in a country at the moment that isn't open, there is ways around it if need be. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? That was great. Thank you, Angie. That was great.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, you know, when you set up your auto
Saver.
saver, does the fee that you start with, say for instance, it was going to cost you $120 a month, would that be the same throughout the whole period, each month, or would it fluctuate at all?
No. So when you decide what you would like to discipline yourself with, like how much you would like to discipline yourself with every month, that will be your choice, and that is set in the autosaver automatically.
Okay.
I am a collector, so I love what they call their coin drops and some of the things that they have on their collectibles page. So I discipline myself because I collect certain series that I really want. So that's how I discipline myself. So you get to choose how you want to discipline yourself moving forward. All I recommend is that if all you have is $10, then you can use the Sound Money wallet to do fractional buying as well, which is really important for people who haven't quite got to that stage yet of their financial wealth. So even $1, this is so empowering for people. It's just, I'm just thrilled to be able to share that and get people started into their gold and silver worlds. Jody, please. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. I have two quick questions. The first question is, this maybe is going to sound kind of ignorant, but how do people actually know? Like if you are either buying a gold coin or if you're wanting to pay with a gold coin, how do you actually know that it's actually like a full gold coin rather than just being like on the outside, let's say?
Great question. I'm not an expert in that, but I can tell you a story of somebody who ordered $10,000 worth of silver online and got duped. And he's a dentist. So this is, and I really thank you for that question, Jody, because this is another reason why 7K started. Who can you trust? Right? Who can you trust? They're getting so good at hiding, right? And faking everything out there right now. And that was another big reason. Not only is the Sound Money wallet powerful for the average person, but we know exactly what we're getting. And we have some of the best in the business who are going around and setting up a whole nother level of authenticity and integrity. When you meet these co-founders, it'll blow your mind. Their heart, their integrity, it is just, we truly are in the right place to really empower ourselves. And that is so important. And we've come to learn, for those of us who are in the Noble Goldman community, we've come to learn, you know, how important it is to surround yourself with people like this. That's what empowerment is our relationships with the people that we truly know have our back. And that's why I love this community. I'm just so excited. And when I came into the world of gold and silver, it was just kind of like, wow, this is so synergistic to what we're doing over in Noble Goldman. It's just awesome. Noble Goldman, 7K, the gold, you know, the vault in Noble Goldman, the vault in 7K, and our partner in 7K is NGC. And for those of you who don't know what NGC is, we used to say that at Noble Goldman, it's our Noble Goldman community, and NGC is the world #1 grading company for all collectibles and other coins around the world. And they are our partners in 7K. So there isn't anything that, like I said, this company is really taking it to the streets, as they say, for people to really start to understand and have the opportunity to be empowered into a world that was kept from us for a very long time. So I'm super excited, as you can tell, to be able to share this with everybody. Dr. Kim, please.
So I'd like to share a couple things. First of all, Tony, I appreciate greatly that you've done the work to bring this to us. to validate it, to check it out, to be sure, you know, you've checked it out. I have no doubt about that. I probably wouldn't have done my homework, to be honest, to even have this conversation. The second thing is I am not at all pessimistic, and I do my best not to live from fear. And yet I have had this gnawing concern for the last 6 months or so, maybe longer, that our banking system was going to collapse. And the day would come when we could not get our money out of the bank. And, you know, I don't know the details. I just have this intuitive sense about this. And so investing in gold and silver really makes incredible sense for me as a way to protect ourselves just in case something like that happens. I know some of the people on this call are way more into the financial side of things than I am. And, you know, I'm this intuitive soul. My left brain hardly ever works. But I'm trusting my gut in this and saying, yeah, invest in something, invest in gold and silver, because it may be the real security we have financially.
And how can you go wrong with God's money, Dr. Kim?
Can't go wrong with God's anything.
Right? I mean, I think, you know, as I mentioned earlier, that's what makes it feel so good, right? I mean, of course, it feels good. It's tangible, it's real, right? So this is what's so cool about the whole thing. It's really, it's just, I never thought that I would get so excited about it, because I'm not, just so you know, I'm not a jewelry person. So, you know, having like, you know, gold bracelets and it just wasn't my thing. But when it came to learning about this, it just completely blew my whole world open, because again, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm thinking, wow, I've really kind of gone down in the wrong direction. Not that it's wrong, because anytime we finally learn something and we learn from it and you pivot, this is a good thing, just with anything in life. So I really hope that helped today. My other question, is it possible to order a coin I really want when the 7K does actually get it? I saw one other website I really want, but they don't currently have. Oh, so if it says sold out, it's sold out. But there is other places that you can buy, depending on what it is. Because Jody, what happens is they're constantly updating what we call our e-commerce page. So when you come into 7K, you have your own e-commerce store, so people can just buy from you directly. And that page is always being updated, because remember, they only sell what they have. They don't do like what other stores do. They advertise all these things, but they actually don't actually hold it. So it's just a question of just kind of always going back and updating.
Okay, my question was if you could get put like on a list or something. It was one of the coins from Belarus that I really loved, and I was like, I want this coin.
Oh, really? And now, was it sold? Did it say sold out, or did it just say after hours?
I don't remember. I got the impression just that they didn't have it at the moment. I don't remember what the actual words were on it.
Well, I'll go check that for you later and see where it is.
I will send you the name of it. Thank you.
Yeah, I can go check on that later. And also, because we have so many members in the community, I can also tag somebody who might be interested in selling theirs as well. So that's okay. So that's the other thing, everybody.
Okay.
So here's the other thing too, is that everybody's always worried, okay, well, now that I got it, but I want to go get some cash, because nobody's willing to barter, let's just say, okay? In your Sound Money wallet, okay, you can exchange between members for free. You can exchange in and out of your silver and gold to cash, okay? You don't have to be running around trying to sell it, okay? It can be done right within the system, right inside your Sound Money wallet when you're a member. How cool is that? That's empowerment again. They're trying to do everything they can to make it as simple as possible for everybody to get disciplined, to get empowered, to get educated, and to start moving in directions that fit the category that you wish to start seeing yourself envisioned as a wealthy individual, which you all are already wealthy, just so let's be very clear about that. So let's make it a reality, because we are all wealthy inside and we are all abundant. So let's bring it into reality and let's do it together. I'd love to help you on that journey. Does it, Kasia, please.
Oh, and I just wanted to add that this whatever 2 weeks ago they brought to the website that Montana coin. That was the first one in the series of the animals, and right now Montana coin you can buy it for between, I don't know, $600 to $1,000, and I was actually able to buy it from the website for $199, I believe, with the shipping and whatever handling cost, and I'm just waiting for it. So I'm excited, and I bought it not for the $1,000 but for $199.
So those of you who are wondering, this is the butterfly. I posted it in the group. They are exquisite. And so there is also there's also a place where we go to list and inventory our coins. It has a barcode and everything. This has been graded from the NGC company. So this is what I was talking about. Is everybody familiar with the $1.2 million mistake? So this goes to Dr. Kim's about value, the $1.2 million mistake. So if you had one of these little lovely ladies, the American Eagle, the silver American Eagle, and this American Eagle was inside this case, okay? The coins that are in these cases are what they call the uncirculated coins, or it's a special series or a special mintage, or vintage coins that have been found, like the Morgan, you know, I don't know if a lot of you who are in America will understand what I'm talking about when I talk about the Morgan, the $50, the dollar Morgan. A lot of them found it, they send it to NGC and they grade it and they put it in a case. If you had bought an American Eagle in the case, like a graded series in the case, every month, remember I talked about discipline? If you had done it, you would even be further ahead than Robert Kiyosaki, who started saving gold in 1970s. If you had done one American Eagle every month, that was your discipline, from 1986 to 2020, it would have cost you over those 30 years about between 40 and 50K, depending on where you are in the world. Those same ones are worth 1.2 million. So instead of saving 40,000 of these, and do you think this 40,000 is worth 40,000 in 2020? Or you could have had these and it was worth 1.2 million. So God's money does not go down in value. That's the power that they keep from us.
So Tony, I have a question, because on 7Ks we have silver and golden coins. As far I'm buying only silver coins, but obviously, I mean, let's scratch obviously. My brother was buying hundreds and hundreds of Krugers, and he had them all over his house, and maybe he even buried them in the garden. Who knows? But I'm 50 years old, and I was a little girl when my brother always had them around. And when he passed away 6 years ago, he still had so many of them around the house. So I don't know who taught him that, but so
he was very smart.
obviously he was very smart. But so my question right now is, do you buy only silver or gold? Because also my nephew a few years back, he bought a very, very expensive real estate place in Poland, and then he bought it with saved golden coins. So I'm wondering if I should be if I should start buying golden coins too, and what's your opinion on golden coins? Because now we are discussing mostly silver coins. Obviously, they are a little bit cheaper, so it is a smaller initial investment to get your Picassos into your house. but yeah, what about gold?
Great question, Kasia. So as you know, I am not.
Tony, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Really?
Can't
Still
hear
muted?
you.
No, you are not muted.
I'm not
You're
muted. I'm good. Okay, thank you.
Can't hear you.
Oh, who else can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Who can't hear me? Miriam, I think you're the only one that can't hear me. Or Hyacinth, can you hear me? Okay, yeah, so I'm not a financial advisor, as you know, nor am I a tax accountant. I do both. Obviously, I have a lot more silver. Why have I chosen silver and why have I chosen collectibles? The collectibles go up exponentially. It's like collecting fine art. These are like mini, like Kasia was saying, mini Mona Lisas is what they are. Miles Standish is an incredible designer in NGC and the top grader in NGC, and he's created some absolutely incredible works of arts, and the stories behind why we've decided to do some of the series are mind-blowing. If you take a look at, it's called 7ktoday.com. It's the corporate website, and they'll tell you all the different coins, and they'll show you all the different styles and what's come out. And it's just like Kasia said, the butterfly, because it was a very low mintage in the state animal series, it quadrupled in price from when they bought it originally. And so now on Stack and Sell, where you can go and list, but I mentioned you can list, you can also sell and buy on there. People are paying 3, 4, 5 times more than what the original cost was. That's the world of collectibles. And that's why the wealthy do collectibles, because it has exponential growth. I've been collecting now for 3 months. My portfolio's already gone up over 20%. So for people to say that it doesn't go up in value, I beg to differ. So, but I also, Martin, I just have to tell you, your energy is just effervescent. I just love seeing you smile. He's such a sweetie pie. Martin introduced Hyacinth to us, and just a wonderful part of the community. So thank you. I just thought I'd say that. Thank you for all of you for joining us. You guys are just, I just love seeing your faces, and I love seeing the smiles. You're just making my heart just glow right now. This is just going to be, 2022 is just going to be fantastic. It really is just going to be fantastic. So to gold and silver, again, not a financial advisor, but I do collect a little bit. I do fractional buying. I do fractional buying in the gold because I can, because I don't have $2,000 to throw at gold, you know? So I do the fractional buying in my Sound Money wallet. Okay. And I do my silver, and I do my collectibles. That's the power of it. But the reason why I do so much of this is because this has been actually more suppressed than the gold, because this is used in industry, and the supply of silver is going way down. Well, if the supply is going way down, why isn't this going up? Because it's used in industry. So all those corporations have all gotten together to save their bottom line. Okay, again, we are duped. So for me, I'm hedging my bets that this is going through the roof. They figured out that if they really figured out between the supply and demand, the demand and supply, this should actually be worth a minimum $600 an ounce. So I bought a lot more silver. That's just me. Thank you for your question, Kasia. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Just to follow up on that, Tony, is there a difference between buying the silver in a case or like new versus like buying it not like that? If that's kind of the perception you have?
Yeah, well, remember, anything that's in the case, that like an American Eagle that goes in a case is uncirculated. In other words, it's not touched by human hands. Okay. The ones that you buy like this are circulated. Okay. So these are the ones that you can go buy, barter, and all that. So here's a really interesting thing for people to understand. This is actually an American Eagle. So like this, what you see in my pictures, this is what they call sovereign coins. What do sovereign coins mean? It means that they're minted specifically for a country. Okay, they're minted specifically for a country. They're not like what they call a round or a bullion, where it doesn't really have a country printed on it or anything like that. It's just silver. So it's whatever the silver's worth. Okay, it's an ounce of silver. This is actually $1, but it's also an ounce of silver under the American Eagle. So this is an American Eagle. It belongs to the United States. Okay. My Canadian is actually $5. My silver ounce, this one is a $5 one, but it's an ounce, and it's minted for Canada. So this is my Canadian 1 ounce. Okay. It's not so much the dollar value. It's really, I bought it for the silver. So here's the other thing you have to understand about the difference between a bullion and a minted sovereign coin. This is recognized everywhere around the world. Everybody loves American Eagles. This also, anything minted by a government for their sovereign money is not reportable on taxes. Did everybody hear that? Again, I'm not a tax accountant or a financial advisor.
Say that again.
Sovereign coins that are issued by a government, okay, are not reportable. So if you don't have to pay tax and you don't have to report any profit. This is why they call, in the United States, they call it gold-backed IRA. So there's another benefit package to the membership for you in the United States. We have a program in there that will allow you to move your IRA into gold-backed coins. So you can move all your fiat into gold in your IRA. So we've had a lot of members do that. That's very powerful for our American members. Huge. Because they're having a hard time doing it anywhere else.
Tony, can we have maybe one Zoom discussing that subject a little bit deeper?
Yeah, well, what we should do is there is a video of the gentleman who was brought into 7K, the partner that has put this in the benefits to introduce how people can do that who do have the IRAs. There's also a healthcare plan for Americans in the 7K packages as well. We've had quite a few members move over to that as well. So there are other benefits, not just the gold and silver in the 7K package. We also have what they call the 7K Advantage, which is access to travel and buying everyday things. I have some friends that just saved 20% on their tires and it paid for their membership. So there you go. So there's all kinds of ways to move forward in your wealth strategy and in all parts of your life. So we can arrange all kinds of different Zooms. So if anybody has anybody else in mind that they would like to bless with this information, please invite. We have an extraordinary amount of people around us who are just so caring. And like I mentioned before, the founders are extraordinary. And you can actually hear from them. Jason, the CEO, is another amazing human being. And the founders we have them on video as well. And if you want to learn a little bit more, we have other videos under freedomgoldrush.com. You can go hear a little bit by Mike Maloney. He'll tell you the difference of how we got forced into this system. And who's in a wealth of information, Mike Maloney. And of course, Robert Kiyosaki. And you can hear from some of the founders as well. Kim said that she really enjoyed listening to the videos in that website. It's a nice condensed version, learning about real money versus fake. Would you choose the chocolate bar over a silver bar? A real nice 18-minute video about all the, walking through the whole wealth strategies here in 7K. This is an amazing booklet that tells a very simple story of how it all started. Why they did what they did, where they're going, where they're trying to really empower. It's all about the members. We've got to get people to understand the power behind gold and silver. So I hope that helped everybody today. I hope you enjoyed that. And let's go out and start blessing more people. Let's start going out and blessing more people. And please get back to the person that invited you if you're new. And for those of you who joined me today, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I will definitely follow up on anything that you had requested, and I will get back to you. So really appreciate
Thank you
all
so
of you.
much.
Thank you.
You're very, very
Thank
welcome.
you.
Blessings to
Take
all of
care,
you.
everybody.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, everyone.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Bye.
Bye.